Hi, I'm Chas, and you're watching Chas's Crazy Creations. Just wait till you see what I made with a few items from the dollar store, including solar lights. So I went on a trip to the dollar store and I picked up some vases in a variety of colors. I also picked up some lovely dollar store plastic bowls. I picked up some solar lights, and I had some marbles on hand, but you can also pick up the dollar store rocks for this easy DIY project. So the first thing I need to do is flip this over, and I want to remove the label from the bottom of every bowl. So go ahead and remove the labels because this side will be visible. I went ahead and removed them from every bowl that we'll be using for this project. Next, I want to focus on the vases. So I'm going to flip them upside down and carefully remove the labels. Now, as you can see here, some of the color came off with this, but that's okay. This is the bottom of the project. I don't have to worry about it. Next, we're going to focus on this solar light. So I'm going to remove the base and disregard it. We do not need this part for this project. But one thing you do need to do is open the top and pull out the tag, so that way you can use the solar light. Otherwise, it won't turn on. And now we're ready to continue. So for this step, this vase will become the bottom. So I'm going to place it here like so. Now you could fill it with anything you want. If you're going to leave it inside, you may not need to fill it up at all. But I'm going to be putting mine outside. So you could fill it with water. You could fill it with sand. You could fill it with shells. You could fill it with any item that's going to basically hold it down, even some rocks. So one of the things I'm going to use for this project is I happen to have a bunch of these dollar store rocks. And they come in a variety of colors. They even sell shells. But I'm going to place these inside the container. And you're going to want to fill this container up so that it's weighted down well, but you don't want to fill it all the way up. So I'm going to continue putting just a few more in here, like so. So you can see them in there, but the pink color is still very clear to see. It's really just about weighting it down and holding it still. So we're ready to move on to the next step. Just to give you an example of some other items, these are some purple marbles that I had, and since this vase is purple, I thought this would be a good fit. Now again, you could place whatever you want to, and you can mix and match, but I'll be placing these purple marbles in here. And just as a reminder, you're going to want to keep a little room at the top. And runaway marbles for me. So the next thing we need to do is add the solar light. So again, you want to make sure, as you can see, I have a few too many in here, so I can't get my solar light in. So I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these rocks. And I want to make sure my solar light can fit in there so that the top half is nice and flush. I'm going to repeat this step with each of the vases. Now, you could put some sort of adhesive here, which will keep on the bottom of the solar light and will keep the solar light in place here. Now, it just depends. Now, this is pretty solid. I don't anticipate it's going to blow over, and I want the ability to change this solar light when needed. So what I'm going to focus on is the top part right up here. So for the next step, you could use a lot of different options for the next adhesive to keep the next step together and on top. So you could use some super tight, you could use a hot glue gun, you could use super glue from the dollar store, or you could use some E6000 Gorilla Glue. There's a lot of choices here. This one and the super glue and the E6000, these are all going to be more permanent. So if that solar light dies, you're going to have a hard time removing the solar light and replacing it. Hot glue is a great alternative, but it doesn't work good with hot and cold temperature fluctuation. So this one you could put on, but it might detach in the weather. But it also helps you if you ever need to change that solar light. You'll probably have a better time getting that solar light removed. However, this is a cool glue gun, so take that into consideration too if you decide to use that. You could also use things like epoxy or silicone as well. So whatever adhesive you want to use for this next step is up to you. I'm going to show you what I'm actually going to use. I'm going to use some temporary glue dots. Now again, if you have a lot of hot and cold temperature fluctuation, this could be something that's not going to work the greatest for you. But what I do like about it is that I will be able to change that solar light out if I want to. So for this one, I simply peel back the backing, and then I'm going to place the glue dot onto it, and then I peel this off and the glue dot stays in place like so. And then I want to do that to the other side as well. And you could cut these if you want. They're a little hard to change. So from that standpoint, you know, you might want to do all four corners, or you could try to cut them, but they're a little hard to cut. They're very sticky. So what I do now is I place the bowl on top in the center, and I press down on those glue dots, and now it's nice and solid. So if I ever need to change that solar panel, I can go ahead and remove that. Okay, so just to show you some variety here, I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to place some hot glue on all of these little sides. So again, just lots of alternatives, but just depends upon where you're placing it. And I'm going to put my bowl centered up on the hot glue, and I'm going to let it cool. Now, this is going to work great because, as you can see, the sun can go right through this bowl and collect inside the solar panel, and this will be true of all of them. So basically, I can remove this, and you can see it here, and I could pull this off and replace this solar light at any time and just replace it with another dollar store one. But easy to put on and off. And then, like I said, you could also glue it to the base if you like as well. You could easily glue it to the base of the vase as well. Now, what we've made here are some super easy solar garden mushrooms. And you can place these in your garden. You can place them just anywhere in your yard. You could put these on your tabletops. You could do this on your front walkway up to your house, your porch, your patio, anywhere that gets some sun. Now, it's important that these get direct sunlight for the maximum use out of your solar lights. Now, they do work on indirect sunlight as well. They just won't run as long. Now, let's go put them outside. Here they are in my dish flower garden, and I'm thrilled with how they turned out. I hope this inspires you to create some solar garden mushrooms of your own. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at chesscrazycreations.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.